Nissan Bula Vinaka, Noaimori, and Warm Pacific greetings. Welcome to topic 2. During this topic, we will look at the basic planning and scoping skills necessary to design and launch a Pacific youth-led community project. Community advocates spend much of their time planning projects, events, and campaigns, along with organizing fellow community members to participate. Before starting any advocacy project, it is important to consider your motivations and determine what inspires you. Why do you want to be an advocate? Why are you passionate about it? These are the questions to 2 essential. Once you have determined what drives you, the next step is to learn what drives Pacific youths. If you're working with Pacific youths or with a Pacific youth-led organization, what are some of the ideas that they could have that could improve your community? Ideally, you'll be able to find a way to connect with Pacific youths who share your passions and interests. In this capacity, you can serve as a role model for them or to help to guide them towards other inspiring role models from whom they can learn from. Sometimes, however, Pacific youths may have their own unique interests that are different from your own. Organizing a forum for Pacific youths to express their interests, like a Pacific Youth Town Hall meeting or sharing circle, could create a space for Pacific youths to share their ideas with their peers and community. Once the idea has been determined, the next step is to perform research in order to understand the historical context. What is the root cause of the issue that you want to address? Have people tried to do something about the issue before? Is anyone working to address that issue today? How will your approach be different than what has already taken place? Is there a way to support the work that is currently underway? Who will work with you on this project? Building a team will ensure a mix of skills and abilities and add resilience to the project. You don't want one person shouldering all the burden. Once the team is active, delegate tasks and responsibilities and set up regular team meetings. It is also important for your team to consider what success looks like and how will you measure it, something we will consider in greater depth in topic 5. We will explore the issue of funding and resource gathering in greater detail in topic 4. For now, just take note of the significance of this step of this process. It is hard to get anything done without resources, and a lot of issues facing Pacific youth can be traced back to a lack of resources. Any tangible support can be considered as a resource, from money, goods and services, volunteers, or even a venue for hosting events and meetings. Other areas of consideration include planning for the worst. What could go wrong? What kinds of risks are associated with your initiative? Is there a chance that someone could get hurt? How will you deal with potential arguments and conflict among team members? How might you respond to the naysayers, people who disagree with your work, or people who are trying to stand in your way? Do you require certification, insurances, or permits to host your event, handle food, work with children, or otherwise complete your goals? Considering all of these questions as a team before embarking on your adventure can help prepare you for your problems that could arise along the way. Acknowledging the risks and working to mitigate them shows your team that you value them and their contributions, are concerned about their safety and well-being, and are committed to the success of the project. After you have considered the nature of the initiative and you've gotten the ball rolling, it's time to get the word out. Our marketing and communications plan is an essential component of effective community organizing, a topic that we will explore further in topic 3. It is important, though, to consider how you plan to inform the community members of your project. How will they contact you and get involved? Now that your initiative is taking off, what are your next steps? Is it time to take it to the next level? And what does that look like? Would your team benefit from special training, a retreat to reflect on their progress and plan the next steps or to recruit new members with additional skills? One of the final points to consider is succession planning. While some Pacific Youth projects have very clearly defined goals and timelines, others may be more broad or long-lasting with no obvious end in sight. For example, Pacific youths in your community might want to explore or organize a charity concert to raise funds for their local food banking, an initiative with define start and end dates. On the other hand, some Pacific youth initiatives may choose to target the root cause of Pacific youth's homelessness or food insecurity. Initiatives that focus on social justice and large-scale systematic change typically don't have a clear start and end date. In these types of projects, it is important to consider that Pacific youth might want long-term implications on their own lives. They should consider how they can sustainably continue to do this work long into the future or for the rest of their lives. Alternatively, they may want to consider how to effectively pass the torch to the next generation of Pacific youth, advocates or organizers, who will continue the work that they've just started.